Okay, so here's one of these weird stories here. A Midwest transplant slams New York City bodegas. Twitter mob gets him fired. Wow. So Griffin Green was fired from his tech job on his second day of work after videos showing him complaining about bodegas in the Bronx went viral on social media and prompted accusations of racism. A Midwestern college grad has been fired from his New York City tech job after TikTok videos he made complaining about Bronx bodegas prompted accusations of racism. Griffin Green, 24, relocated to the Big Apple from Michigan last week to take up a new role as a sales development rep with the software company Outreach before being booted from the firm after a Twitter mob called for his cancellation. The youngster sublet an apartment in the South Bronx after arriving in New York and shared a series of videos to TikTok, crossly claiming culture shock about his new surroundings. Okay, so I just moved to New York and I'm going to go grocery shopping. And so I type in like grocery stores on my Apple Maps, and every effing one I go to, they're like this ST, he stated in one video before panning the camera to show local bodega. Like, bro, that's not a grocery store, he continued in the clip. I'm trying to get like eggs, yogurt, cheese, like that. Like, look at this place. He later stated, like, I've literally been to like 5 of those now, and like, I don't know what the F I'm about to do for dinner. Like, where are the Krogers and the Whole Foods at? Like, I'm about to eat effing like cereal and ramen for dinner. Like, what the F? One person promptly shared the clip to Twitter where it quickly went viral with Green earning the moniker Bodega Bro. The clip attracted widespread attention, with some saying Green was exuding white privilege with his insensitive remarks about the Bronx, a majority-minority borough of the city. And their comments up here on Twitter. There's a video there, one video here. I'm not gonna play it. I just put the link. I'm sure this bro thought he was being funny, but did anyone else view this as racist or just me? Blogger Perez Hilton wrote. TikTok star Dutch de Carvalho also slammed Green, saying, I mean, what? He's been here like 2 days and he's found a way to make fun of the stores that many people in the community rely on. According to Reason, outraged viewers also took issue with other clips of Green surveying his new surroundings in the Bronx. I'm in the Bronx for a few weeks, so I'm like the only white dude in this whole gym. So I got this NAACP shirt, so these people vibe with me more, he purportedly said in one video. In another clip, he allegedly remarked on how many gay people resided in New York, questioning whether being gay is just a thing now. Social media sleuths uncovered an older TikTok video made by Green in which he showed off a confidential offer of employment letter and announced he was moving to New York City. The letter revealed he worked at Outreach, and one person tweeted the tech firm to alert them to Green's viral Bodega video. I don't think it's very flattering to have this type of person represent your company, they wrote from a private account. I would reevaluate or revalue his employment if I were you. Now see, that's trouble right there, you know. The guy moved there, go through a lot of trouble, and these people out to get him fired. Outreach later responded, "Thank you for bringing this to our attention. Upon investigation, we took swift internal action in accordance with our company policies and in alignment with our core values, and is no longer an employee of Outreach." The company told Reason that they terminated Green for sharing the confidential employment letter on social media, not for posting his controversial videos. It is against company policy for employees to leak private and confidential information, and grounds for termination, Outreach's Vice President of Communications stated. We remain committed to building our culture that finds strength in our diversity, equity, and inclusion, and a company where all can succeed. When contacted by the Post, an Outreach representative declined to comment further. Green's TikTok has been switched to private. The Post has also contacted him for comment. After news of Green's prompt firing got out, many hit back at the company, accusing them of giving in to a woke mob. Bodega Bro shouldn't have been fired. He wasn't racist. He was a fish out of water. His TikTok was cringe, but getting your privilege a little mind blown by big city food deserts isn't a good enough reason to lose your income when you first move to a new city, one opined. One black woman leaped to Green's defense, saying there was nothing wrong with calling out a lack of adequate supermarkets in the Bronx or anywhere else in New York City. Now, I'm a black woman who moved from suburban Georgia and had the exact same reaction, especially moving to Flatbush, Brooklyn, where there is exactly one real grocery store, she declared. It's hard to feed yourself out here. That's why it's called a food desert. People shouldn't have to live like this. Green told Reason he received a call from HR and was fired on his second day. He asked for an opportunity to explain himself, but says his request was denied. Green is now purportedly worried about his finances, having just signed a 12-month lease. The company is also purportedly withholding a $2,500 relocation bonus that would have come with his first paycheck. People can be painted as these mean, awful people, when really they're just trying to explore new things. Green stated, I was exploring New York for the first time. I didn't know that people do grocery shopping at these corner stores. It was more of intent to almost like make fun of myself for being a new person in the city. He added, one supporter claims Green is a victim of cancel culture and has started a fundraising initiative for him in Give, Send, Go. Give, Send, Go, I guess it's like GoFundMe. Bodega Bro Griffin Green was roundly fired by his job Outreach for having the audacity to prefer Kroger to Bodegas. The fundraising description reads, after moving to New York and signing a lease, the woke mob relentlessly harassed his employer until they caved in and terminated him over some TikTok jokes. Help Bodega Bro get back on his feet and have enough money to buy all the eggs, yogurts, and cheese he wants from a real supermarket. All proceeds will go to Griffin, the bio continues. As of Friday, alright, and today is Friday, the fundraiser has raised more than $4,200. So people comment over here, there were like 420 comments. Well, I never lived in the Bronx, but I do have connection with the Bronx. My older sister had lived in the Bronx for many years, so, going back to like the early 1970s, so this is a long time ago, and then she has kids and so forth, and some of them still live in the Bronx, the grandkids and so forth. And yeah, it's true, the Bronx has a number of bodegas. They also have some supermarkets too. You just gotta know where to look, like maybe 3rd Avenue, you can go around there, what that is, because I do remember going into some supermarkets there. But it's not like in Brooklyn, like how Brooklyn, you come downtown Brooklyn, you have Whole Foods, you have Trader Joe down here, you have Stop and Shop, right? You have a number of places here you can go to. If you go over to the Brooklyn Heights, you got even some more stuff, But the Bronx is quite different, and I mean, you got to give the guy a break, because if you come from, forget about the bodega for a minute. If you come from the Midwest, certain states like maybe Michigan, and we're not talking about Detroit. This guy is probably from a suburban area, where you never even see certain things. Yeah, and things appear like shocking. It's like culture shock. That's what it really is. It's like culture shock. Because you walk around, you see these bodegas, and they're much more expensive to buy stuff. There are like a couple of bodegas across from me. I don't even really go in there, but there are people here who do go in there and shop. I don't really make any shopping there, unless it's some kind of emergency that I have to go to. But there are some supermarkets around where I am here. There's a Wegmans that's new. They opened in late 2019. Wegmans, not too far from me. There's a Fine Fair also. In downtown there's like Stop and Shop. And out in Fort Greene, a good walking distance from me, there's another supermarket over there. See, if you keep going down Myrtle Avenue, you're going to run into more supermarkets. So, yeah. I read what the guy said, and maybe he was being funny with the NAACP thing or what have you, because from what I remember, the Bronx, the Bronx got a lot of Hispanic people, if anything, than black people. If you walk around the South Bronx, you hear like a lot of Spanish. You see more Hispanic people or so forth. Now, he used the word, NAACP, and like he's the only white guy in the gym or what have you. I'm not sure if he made that up about the gym, because around that area, it's like, how many people can really afford gyms, I mean, really, It's like, yeah, you go to the park, maybe you jog, maybe you get a workout, but to have membership to a gym, so maybe the guy was being, maybe humorous, maybe he was being facetious by making a comment like that, and it didn't come across right, but the Bronx, and I gotta say this, the Bronx is a place that I rarely have traveled to, even though I have relatives there. But there was something about the Bronx that I never really cared for. Yeah. And I live here a long, long time. And I'm saying this. I'm not from Michigan or anything like that. You know? So I could say that. And I think the word more like culture shock, or like somebody remarked, like a fish out of water. You know, you're not in your environment. Yeah, you're out of your element, so to speak. And what I think he should have done, and this is too late. I mean, you know, being the age of the guy, and he should know this. If you're going to go in a certain environment, you do your research beforehand. You know, you do research, like to move into the South Bronx. The South Bronx is probably like the cheapest. And I use that word. It's like the cheapest place you can live. Okay, in New York City. I have a niece. She grew up in the South Bronx, and the place she was living in, I'm not sure what happened. I think maybe they sold it, and she couldn't find a place. But she had moved out. She had moved to another part of the Bronx, not necessarily the South Bronx, and she couldn't find anything affordable in the Bronx, and that's where she was born. So she moved out to Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is one of those big states. It still has affordable housing in Pennsylvania. I don't think it's in Philadelphia. I think it's probably near Philadelphia, but she lives out there. So I'm just throwing this in that here comes she was born there. She grew up there, and she had to move out. You know, she had to move out. This guy, if you come into New York, if I were to give advice to somebody, you coming into New York, you come in from a different state, I wouldn't advise you to go live in the South Bronx. You know, it's a different atmosphere. There are some parts of the Bronx that are nice. You know, if you go all the way up north, like you go up to West Van Cortlandt Park or so forth. Riverdale is in the Bronx. Even though people who live there, they write like, you know, on their address they write like Riverdale, New York. Just like how in Queens, somebody may write Elmhurst, Queens, or Woodside, Queens, or Jamaica, Queens, or so forth. So some people write Riverdale. They don't write Bronx. You know, it goes back to the old days when Jimmy Carter visited the Bronx. When there were so many burnt out buildings. It looked like they were bombed during the war. But the thing is, my advice, and apparently he didn't do research, or maybe you gotta ask yourself, what is this company paying this guy? You know, agreed to pay him, because knowing what I know, if somebody would have asked me, I wouldn't advise moving into the Bronx. I remember many years ago, I think going back to 2006, there was a young lady I chat with overseas, and she was going to do au pair work, and she had like a number of choices, you know. She was given like places in California, Florida, New York, New Jersey, and she was asking me like, what do you think would be ideal? Well, I usually go by how the weather is, crime statistics, things like that, and I give her a rundown. And she did end up going to like California, I think around Stanford area, and then eventually she went to another assignment in New Jersey, not too far from New York City. But the point is, at least before she took an assignment, she asked me questions, you see. She didn't just say, I'm getting an opportunity to go to the United States and work au pair. Let me pick the first one. Let me go down to North Carolina. And then fine, you go down there, and in the summer you're sweating and so forth, or it's humid or some crazy stuff like that, you know. No, she asked me, and she went out to California. She was able to get a driver's license and so forth, drive those kids to school. So yeah, that was very different, you know, that part of California. So this guy, if he had came on, let's say in conversation, and he had asked me, I would tell him, no. You know what I mean? Try somewhere else. Even maybe like Williamsburg, Brooklyn. Yeah, even like Williamsburg. See if you get a roommate in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, because now Williamsburg is kind of like chick. You know, somebody's friend came from Thailand a couple years ago. I think it was 2019. And she had like a list of places she wanted to go. And my friend asked her, could you meet this person? And so forth. Yeah. And one of the places on it was Williamsburg, which I was surprised because when I was growing up, when I was much younger, Williamsburg wasn't the kind of place you want to be in after certain hours. Yeah. There was so much crime and debt and drugs and so forth. So Williamsburg must have a good name now, and I was really surprised because I used to go over there when I was younger, when I had my car, and since then I don't. So I went over there with her, took the bus over there, got off I think maybe around North 9th Street, barefoot, and I was shocked to see how different it is. Yeah, restaurants and so forth, people sitting outside. And there was like I think one of these, one of those festivals they have in the summer. Williamsburg by the State Park, by the New York State Park, around North 9th Street, North 10th Street, around there, where you have lots of people come and with different kind of cuisine and so forth. Yeah, and that's where I took her, over there. Yeah. Back in the days, growing up, there wasn't anything like that. Nothing like that whatsoever. Williamsburg wasn't known for that. So Williamsburg had a lot of restaurants and so forth. So, yeah, I would have told this guy, yeah, you know what, go to a place like maybe Williamsburg. That'll be fine. Maybe the rent may be a little bit up, but still, that'd be better than the South Bronx. I mean, in the South Bronx, you still got crime, So, I mean, yeah, the bodega is one thing, but what about walking around about the South Bronx? You gotta be concerned about crime. Somebody may try to rob you or so forth, and that's not out of it at all. I mean, in the South Bronx, the police station there, they used to call it Fort Apache. That's what they used to call it. And Apache is a word used for a Native American tribe. Yeah, Apache. So you can kind of imagine what used to go on in there in those days. But anyway, I think I read through what the guy said. I think people get carried away, and people got to be careful before they go, complaining to somebody's employer and running somebody out of a job. What he could have done was, go up to the local people, talk to people. I think people like to see somebody's different, and you come talk to them to find out, hey, how is this neighborhood, to find out what's going on here. That's what he should have done. Instead of going on making the video he did, he could have communicated with the people in the area. Yeah, because I know there are definitely supermarkets in the South Bronx, that I know. You just got to know where to find them. You got to know where to find them. Yeah, maybe that Apple thing that he used wasn't doing justice. and they keep showing bodegas. And he's right. A bodega is not it's not a supermarket. Yeah, but you could find. And when I'm done with this video, I'm gonna check to see what kind of supermarkets they got in the South Bronx. But that's really unfortunate what happened to this guy from Michigan.